Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm just trying to see if we need to give some people time to join.
Okay.
Yeah.
What really stuck out to me is because I was just doing something like this.
So that's the reason. So I think,
Okay.
what do you think? What do you think, Mom?
Yeah, we should give at least a few minutes. I know it's about 1 or 2 minutes after 10,
Yeah.
but let's give people at least five minutes, maybe 10, whatever you think is
Yeah,
appropriate
I'm
to
thinking when
join.
it's 10 minutes 10 minutes past.
Okay.
I'll do that, but whilst okay. I'm trying to see what I can get a video or something to shoot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being on this show today. Will I say show? Thank you for being on this work mastermind. You know, so used to having a podcast, and so that what came to my lips first was show. But you're all welcome. We've given some time to our guests, but they're yet to be here. But that we will not allow that to stop us. We will go ahead to ensure that I know that Saturdays to some of us it's our most busiest day. So I want to leave that to everyone so that we can go back to doing other things. So today we are having a mastermind. It's a 6 weeks mastermind. But before I go into it, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Sandra Ukoh. I'm a Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member, speaker, coach, and trainer. I'm also a member of the Toastmaster as a Vice President Public Relation. I'm a best-selling author and just recently got gifted the Presidential Lifetime Award. And I am making a difference in my world, in my own little space. I'm trying to live my life by impacting others around me. I love to help people. And so one of the things that came to mind that 2024 is still a very brand new year. And being a very brand new year, then we're in the second month, which is February. And February is almost going. And we have goals and dreams, things we want to achieve. And today I'm going to be taking you on putting your dream to the test. And yeah, tests. So I'll be taking the introduction and resources and the chapter 1. I don't want to bug you with so much today, but from next week, Saturday, we're going to be taking 2 chapters, asking questions, allowing people to contribute. But today is just an introductory aspect, what it is to put your dream to test. And so right now, I am going to, just a moment, I'm going to share my screen so you can hear from my mentor himself, who wrote the book, Putting Your Dreams to the Test.
Today I'd like to talk to you on the subject, putting your dream to the test. 10 questions that will help you see it and seize it. Now, this teaching on putting your dream to the test is from a book that I've just written with the same title, Putting Your Dream to the Test. This is my 3rd attempt at writing a dream book. The first 2 times I tried to write a book on realizing your dreams and achieving your dreams, I felt that I failed. It wasn't what I wanted, so I put it away, and I said, well, a little later I'll try to do it again. And the reason that I was so uncomfortable is that the first 2 attempts I had on this dream book were too huffy and puffy. The substance was not there, and it was a little too whimsical, and it was a little too mystical, and it was way too subjective, and I just didn't feel comfortable at all. So in the process, I would lay it aside, and so this is my 3rd attempt. In fact, when I picked it up this 3rd time, about 1.5 years ago, I said, if I can't pull it off this time, I think it's just a book that I can't write because I don't have the giftedness to write it. And so I began to think again, how can I do this that will really help people achieve their dreams? And all of a sudden, I realized that there were questions we should ask ourselves to make sure that our dream is legitimate. And I began a list of questions. In fact, we're going to discuss 10 because that's how many that are in the book. But when I started, I had 33 questions. I always start kind of big, and then I start bringing it back down. And it took me about 3 months to reduce these questions to 10. But when I got them down to 10, with great integrity, I can look you in the eye, whether you read the book or whether you listen to this teaching, and say, these questions, if you can answer them in a positive way, yes, will help you to achieve your dream. How many of you had a teacher, like I had several teachers when I was growing up? How many of you had teachers that before the test would be maybe given on Friday, maybe the session before that, they would tell you some of the things that were going to be on the test or things that you should study for so that you be prepared? How many of you had teachers like that? Okay, we all have. And you know what they were doing? They were trying to prepare you to be successful. They were setting you up for success when you took the test. That's what these 10 questions do. They set you up for success. In fact, in your notes, if you'll look at the paragraph, and by the way, there are things that I'll read that are in your notes. There are things I won't read. We'll skip things that are in your notes. This is just for you to have a lot of material, but I won't touch all the material, trust me. Well, let me start with this paragraph. My desire is to be like one of those encouraging teachers to you. I want to prepare you to put your dream to the test so that you can actually achieve it. How? I believe that if you know the right questions to ask yourself, and if you can answer these questions in an affirmative way, you'll have an excellent chance of being able to achieve your dreams. The more questions you can answer positively, the greater the likelihood of success. And that is the reason I wrote this book. Here's my definition of a dream that can be put to the test and passed. A dream is an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind, will, and emotions, empowering you to do everything you can to achieve it. A genuine dream is a picture and a blueprint of a person's purpose and potential. And those two are inseparable. What your potential is what your purpose is, and what your purpose is shows you what your potential can be. 4 common reasons why people have trouble identifying their dream. First of all, some people have been discouraged from dreaming by others. In other words, other people just discourage them. How many of you have ever been discouraged by others with your dream? You understand this, don't you? In my book, Failing Forward, I tell the experiment that researchers did with 4 monkeys, of which they brought these 4 monkeys in a closed room, and then they had a tree for them to climb. To the top of the tree was a great, wonderful bunch of bananas. And automatically, when the monkeys came to the room, the first monkey started to go up to the tree, and when the monkey got right up to where the bananas were, they doused the monkey with just a torrent of cold water. And the monkey scampered back down the tree. And after a while, the second monkey tried it again. When the second monkey just got to where the bananas were, they doused him with cold water down the monkey cam. Now you can see what's going to happen. Every monkey tried, every monkey was doused, every monkey came back down. And then they took one of the monkeys that had the bad experience and took them out of the room and put a new monkey that had never seen nor experienced that cold, drenching water, and automatically the new monkey started to climb the tree, but the other 3 who had the bad experience, they pulled it down. They wouldn't let it. There's no need for water now. They're beginning to pull that one down. And slowly the researchers took 1 monkey each out of the room until there are 4 monkeys in the room who have never been doused with cold water, have never seen this bad experience. And they keep pulling each other down so they don't reach the bananas. They don't know why, but they pull each other down. And every one of us have been pulled down by people who they haven't always experienced something bad in that area, but they've heard somebody experience something about it in that area. And so they pull us down. The second reason is some people are hindered by past disappointments and hurts. Some people never reach their dream because they've been hurt. And disappointment is the gap between expectation and reality. Our expectation is way up here, and reality many times is right down here. And that gap between what we expected to happen and what is happening is what we call disappointments. And again, all of us, have we not been disappointed in what we thought we could achieve and what we did achieve and what we thought would perhaps be ours and what is ours? There's a tremendous gap many times. Number 3, some people get in the habit of settling for average. Columnist Maureen Dowd says, the minute you settle for less than you deserve, you get even less than you settled for. One of my favorite statements on settling for average, I've had this quote for, my goodness, 30 years I filed it. 30 years ago I filed this quote. Kenneth Hildebrand said, the poorest of all men is not the one without a nickel to his name. He's the fellow without a dream. He's like a great ship made for the mighty ocean, but trying to navigate in a mill pond. He has no far port to reach, no lifting horizon, no precious cargo to carry. His hours are absorbed in routine and petty tyrannies. Small wonder if he gets dissatisfied, quarrelsome, and fed up. One of life's greatest tragedies is a person with a 10 by 12 capacity and a 2 by 4 soul. Number 4, some people lack the confidence needed to pursue their dreams. Sometimes it's a confidence factor. Irma Bombach, who was always cracking me up, she was alive, said, it takes a lot of courage to show your dreams to someone else. I know that to be very true. I know that to be true in my life. It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable enough to say, here's what I hope for, here's what I dream for, and lay it out. I just did a recent survey in Washington, D.C. Every year I do an event for high-level executives. We usually limit it to about 80. We did it in Washington, D.C. this year, where they come, and from Wednesday noon to Friday noon, they spend a couple of days with me. And I give them a lot of leadership experiences, and I do a lot of teaching on leadership. And one of the things that I did is I asked them to fill out this survey. Now, what I want you to understand about the people that I asked to fill out this survey that I'm about to share with you the results, these are highly, highly, highly successful people. Many of them CEOs of their companies. They pay $8,000 for 2 days with me to do leadership. And so I had a survey of which I asked them to fill out some questions about dreams. And it was an extensive survey. I'm going to just give you 4. You don't need to write them down, but I do want to kind of use this as the setting, the foundation for everything we're going to do in this teaching today. I asked them, question number 1, do you have a dream for your life? 100% said yes. You would expect that out of high-level executives, wouldn't you? Number 2, I said, are you at times frustrated in pursuit of your dream? 95% said yes. I'm talking about top shelf leaders. Question number 3, have you ever given up on an important dream? 50% said yes. Half the people, great potential, terrific talent, amazing ability. Half the people say, yeah, I have given up on an important dream. The last question was, have you accomplished your dream? And 95% said, no, I haven't accomplished my dream yet. Now, that's why I wrote this book. Because if the best of the best, many of them have never achieved their dream or accomplished it yet, then don't you think all of us need to put our dream to the test and ask ourselves the important questions that will allow us to be the success that we really think that God has created us to be. So, are you ready for the dream test? Okay, here we go. 10 questions right there in front of you. I'm going to give you the 10 questions. I'm going to teach on them. Number 1 is the ownership question. The ownership question asks, is my dream really my dream? Number 2 is the clarity question. Do I clearly see my dream? Number 3, the reality question. Am I depending on factors within my control to achieve my dream? Number 4 is the passion question. Does my dream compel me to follow it? Number 5, the pathway question. Do I have a strategy to reach my dream? Number 6, the people question. Have I included the people I need to realize my dream? Number 7, the cost question. Am I willing to pay the price for my dream? Number 8, the tenacity question. Am I moving closer to my dream? Number 9, the fulfillment question. Does working toward my dream bring satisfaction? And finally, number 10, the significance question. Does my dream benefit others? Take a moment and just look at those questions. Because those are the 10 questions that you have to ask yourself. This is putting your dream to the test. You have to look at your dream and lay these 10 questions over it. And here's how simple this is. The more of these questions you can answer with a very affirmative, strong, confident yes, the greater your odds are of achieving the dream. Now here's what you're going to discover. You're going to discover of the 10 questions, there are some that you can answer yes better than others. Is that not true?
True.
Think of it as 100% to 0%. There might be 1 or 2 that you could even say 100%, I'm there.
Sure.
And some it might be 70%. Some it may be 45%. There may be 2 or 3 that are 5%. I mean, you're just not even hardly in the game yet. Are you with me? Here's what I know. When people don't reach their dream, the reason they don't reach it is they don't have enough valid reasons to reach it. You've got to have a lot of valid reasons to reach your dream. You see, if you and I only have one reason to reach our dream, that's why when people say, well, you know what, I have this dream and I'm going to make a lot of money. And that's their dream. I would just go, boy, I'm going to make a lot of money. I can hardly wait. I'm going to make a lot of money. Can I tell you something? If you only have one reason for achieving a dream, that one reason will get knocked out of you very quickly. What keeps people in the game, in the dream game, is that they have more than one reason. In fact, these 10 questions, hang on, are 10 reasons to pursue your dream. And so therefore you need to look at your dream as it is today and put these 10 questions underneath it as your foundation. And those that you're strong in, high five yourself. Those that are your weak in, these are the areas you're going to have to work on. Does that make sense? You're ready to go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Deborah, hold on. Deborah, you might want to help me ask if there are any questions. So whilst I get the other video ready.
All right. Let's see, we don't have more. We only have 2 participants for now. So I don't see that anyone would have any questions, but I would like to make a comment. This is an excellent basis for everyone who's attending to get started on that long-awaited dream. Even I, at my age and stage in life, have a dream unaccomplished, and this inspires me. So use what you're hearing here today to inspire you. Realize that if you haven't started on your dream, it's not too late. It is not too late. Over the next few weeks, Sandra's going to give you lessons in how to really accomplish what you are destined to accomplish in your life. If you follow the presentations that she has coming forward for you, I can promise you that you'll have everything you need to establish a foundation, to build up from that foundation, because it does you no good to establish a foundation but not build up. So you're going to have everything you need to establish the foundation, then put the building on top of it, complete it, and make it your own. It'll be your goal. It will be your dream, and it will impact others in the most positive way. And isn't that what we all dream of? Having a great impact on others, making our lives better as a community of people on this earth while we're here. We want to leave our mark, and our mark must be a positive one, a good one. So, Sandra, I see we haven't gotten anybody else for any questions now. Are you ready to continue with the video?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was muted at first. But we're good. We're going to the first chapter of the book, Putting Your Dream to Test. Then after this, I'll wait to take some questions before wrapping it up.
Number 1 is the ownership question. Is my dream really my dream? T.S. Eliot said, whatever you think, be sure it is what you think. Whatever you want, be sure that it is what you want. Whatever you feel, be sure that it is what you feel. Are you with me? When I was young, my parents thought that I had musical ability. You just have to understand their parents. And so when I turned about 8, they talked me into taking piano lessons. And I took piano lessons, and to be honest with you, I kind of thought I was pretty good. I didn't really like to practice a lot, but I kind of thought I could do decent on those keys. And I never will forget, I went to my first recital as a child, piano recital, and there was another a gal, a friend of mine, who was the same age of mine, Elaine Mosley, and she started taking piano lessons the same time I started taking piano lessons. And I was up before she was, and I did my little piece, and everybody clapped, and I thought, that's pretty good. And then Elaine Mosley got up. As soon as I heard her, I thought, this is not where I'm going to make my mark in life. I could remember I took piano lessons for a few years to please my parents. but my heart wasn't in it. And I can remember when it got to the age where I had to choose between the band and music or playing sports, and I wanted to play sports. I remember that hard conversation, sitting down with my mom and dad and saying, Mom and Dad, I thank you for the piano lessons, but I really want to play ball, and that whole process. What was I doing? I'll tell you what I was doing as a young child. I was sorting out the difference between my dream and someone else's dream. And I can tell you that every one of us have gone through those battles, have we not? Whether we have to ask ourselves, is this my dream or is this someone else's dream? Now, I'm going to explain to you how you can tell the difference. You're going to see two different columns. And one of the columns, when someone else owns your dream, and the right column is when you own your dream. And let me just very quickly give you the difference. You see, when someone else owns your dream, it will not have the right fit. But when you own your dream, it will feel right to you. When someone else owns your dream, it will be a weight on your shoulders. When you own your own dream, it will provide wings to your spirit. When someone else's dream, it will drain your energy. When it's your dream, it will fire you up. When someone else owns your dream, it will put you to sleep. When you own your dream, it will keep you up at night. When someone else owns your dream, it will take you out of your strength zone. But when you own your dream, it will take you out of your comfort zone. When someone else owns your dream, it will be fulfilling to others. But when you own your own dream, it will be fulfilling to you. But this time I knew you'd be tired of filling in the blanks. If someone else owns your dream, it will require others to make you do it. But when you own your dream, you will feel you were made to do it. Pretty good difference there, isn't it? And haven't you had people before where you had to keep talking them into their dream? And just picking them up and pulling them on and motivating them and doing all that stuff. I'm just here to tell you that when you own your own dream, can I tell you something? When you own your own dream, nobody has to get you up to fulfill it. You are self-motivated. So how do you take ownership of your dream? Number one, be willing to bet on yourself. Be willing to bet on yourself. You may succeed if nobody else believes in you, but you will never succeed if you don't believe in yourself. And when I say you must be able to bet on yourself, what you're really doing is you're saying, I am going to put my money on me. I believe in me. I can still remember in my middle 20s, most of you know that I had a background as a pastor for 25 years. I was playing golf with a pastor friend of mine. His name was Nathan, and I said, Nathan, at that time I was probably 25. I said, I want to build one of the greatest churches in America. I'm not really sure how to do it, but I'm going to learn how to do it. Well, he said, John, how are you going to learn how to do it? And I told him of my plan because I had, in my desire to build a great church, I kind of conceived a strategy, and it was basically I was going to call the people that were building these great churches, these great pastor leaders, and I was going to ask them for an interview and ask them how they did it. And when I told that to Nathan, he just laughed. He said, John, you got a little dinky church of a couple hundred people, and why would these pastors of these large churches want to ever see you? And that's where I began to say, okay, what I'll do is I'll offer them $100 for 30 minutes of their time. And I was making $12,000 at that time a year. And I'd call them on the phone and say, you don't know me, but I know about you, and you know how to build a church, and I want to learn from you, and can I have 30 minutes of your time? I'll give you $100. And literally over the next 3.5 years, that's exactly what I did. I traveled to their cities, and I sat down with them, had them a tape recorder, had them a legal pad with 5 questions, and asked those questions as quickly as I could, reached in my pocket with my check of $100 already made out in their name, and I handed it to them, shook their hand, and said, thank you. Do you know what I was doing? I was betting on myself. I was putting my money where my dream was. And when people come to me and they say they have a dream, but they don't want to put any stake in it, they don't want to put anything into it energy-wise, time-wise, financially, I look at them and say, they have a daydream. They don't have a dream. They have a daydream. Number 2, if you want to take ownership of your dream, number 2, lead your life instead of accepting your life. lead your life instead of accepting your life. And you and I both know that the majority of the people, they don't lead their life. They accept their life. One of the Holocaust survivors, we were just in Washington, D.C., as I shared a moment ago, and one of the things we did is we took the leaders through the Holocaust Museum. And then at the end, we had a survivor talk to them about what it was like. Not a dry eye in the place. And Ali Weisel is one of those survivors, wrote the book Souls on Fire. And if you look about halfway, not quite halfway down this paragraph that's in your notes, he says basically that when you die and you go to meet your maker, you're not going to be asked why you didn't become a Messiah or find a cure for cancer. All you're going to be asked is, why didn't you become you? Why didn't you become all that you are? Reaching your God-given potential requires taking responsibility for yourself and your life. It means taking an active leadership role with yourself. So leading your life requires making the right decisions and then managing those decisions daily. Make them and manage them. Make them and then manage them. Number 3, to take ownership of your dream, you have to love what you do and do what you love. It's just that simple. If you're really going to have ownership of your dream, you need to fall in love with what you're doing. So no one has to get you up every morning and prop you up and tell you how much fun this is going to be. Huh? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, you know what I mean? They'll do what they're supposed to do if you'll wake them up. And if you'll go with them all day and help them do it. In my book, Talent is Never Enough, what do I say? Very simple. Talent without passion equals potential without possibility. Passion without talent equals passion without potential. But talent with passion equals potential with passion. The passion makes the difference. Number 4, to own your own dream, don't compare yourself or your dream to others. A lot of times, in the ownership of our dream, we begin to get into what I call this comparison game. In your note, author and friend Joyce Meyer wisely states, God will help you be all you can be, but he will never help you be someone else. If you focus too much attention on who you aren't by comparing yourself to someone else, you lose sight of what you need to become. It's what I call, in my experience, the 18-40-60 rule. When you're 18, you worry about what everybody is thinking about you. Isn't that true? You're 18, you say, well, what do they think? What do they think? I wonder what they think. When you're 40, you don't give a darn what anybody thinks of you. And then when you're 60, you realize that nobody has been thinking about you at all. Says it all, doesn't it? Says it all. And you know what? You that are young, you know, you're just not quite sure how to handle that. But you notice all of us that are 60 over, we're laughing. Because been there, done that. When you compare yourself with those superior, you feel inferior. When you compare yourself with those inferior, you feel superior. But when you stop comparing yourself with others, you feel empowered to create or concentrate on your dream. Number 5, believe in your vision for the future even when others don't understand you. Let me talk about this, because we're talking about betting on yourself. We're talking about owning your dream. And now I'm saying that you've got to believe in your dream. You've got to embrace your dream even when there are people who look at you and they haven't figured you out. Do you have people, when they see that you're focused and they see that you've got a dream, do you have some people that just don't understand what you're doing? Can you relate to this, huh? I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Let me give you just one quick example of, because I've experienced this dozens of times in my dream journey. About 15 years ago, my life was kind of changed in a publishing meeting. When I started writing books, all I did was write books to try to help pastors learn how to lead. And in a publishing meeting in Nashville with Thomas Nelson, they laid out that day an amazing stat. And when I say it was amazing, it blew me away. I don't know if I've ever been so surprised. They said, John, we've been doing research on who buys your books, and 2/3 of your books are bought by the secular community, not the Christian community. I said, you've got to be kidding. They said, no, really, you're really appealing to a lot of business people around the country. And I remember that day, I just sensed within me, just like there are times when within you sense that there's something that you know or there's something you should do. And that day, I just sensed within me that I ought to become what I call a crossover writer. I'm a person of faith, but I ought to write to people that are not people of faith. And that I ought to put all the principles that I've learned, which, to be honest with you, the leadership principles I've learned have all been from the Bible, but put them in such a way that they would be appealing and compatible with people who didn't have faith. And so I made that decision to be a crossover writer. Now, here's what I'm talking about, owning your own dream. My dream was never tested like it was when I decided to do this. My fellow Christians didn't understand. In fact, can I tell you what they thought? They thought I sold out. In fact, their expression, if I heard this once, I heard this expression 10,000 times. John, why did you leave the ministry? And I would say to them, I didn't leave the ministry. I kind of went into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going right where I'm supposed to be going, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be. Does this make sense to you? Now, this is where you're going to be tested on your ownership. Do you really own your dream? I'll never forget the call. Margaret and I, we had a home up in Highlands, North Carolina, kind of a retreat area where I would do some writing, and we were up in our Highlands, North Carolina home. And I got a phone call from a major donor that my nonprofit ministry equipped that trains leaders internationally. And this man, when I say it was a major donor, read my lips, a major donor. Let's try about 100,000 a year. And he said, John, I'm disturbed because I realize that you've done this crossover writing, and I think that you ought not to do this. So I explained to him, thinking if I explained it to him, he'll understand. He didn't understand. And finally, it got kind of a little bit tight on the phone. And he said, John, he said, if you don't get back to the Christian church, the people, the faith, if you don't get back to that, he said, I think I'm going to have to withdraw my donations to equip. And I'm sitting by this desk with a phone, and I'm realizing I'm about to lose $100,000 a year to my nonprofit ministry. And it got real quiet. And I called him by name, and I said, I'm very disappointed, but if you've got to withdraw your money, then I would encourage you to withdraw your money, because I'm not going to withdraw the dream. I remember I hung up, and Margaret had kind of overheard. I was up in the loft area, and she said, John, what happened? I said, I just lost $100,000 a year for my dream because of the not understanding. Are you with me? Now, let me tell you, here's what you're going to know. You're going to know you own your dream when you can't be talked out of your dream. And if you can be talked out of your dream, you don't own squat. So if everybody that criticizes or doesn't understand comes in your life and somehow you were here, but you're now over there, and now you've given this up, I promise you, I promise you don't own your dream. So question number one is your dream really your dream? When you're training others that are pursuing your business, let me tell you something right now. If you have to talk them every week into the dream, you got to let them go. Okay?
Thank you. I think I'll leave you to ask the second round of questions before I wrap it up. So, Madam Deborah, you want to take it over?
Sure.
Been an exciting session. I have my books, and I'm sure a lot of us that are in this mastermind, you have gotten some great nuggets. So I'll be leaving the Deborah, to take any of the questions. Are there any comments, any questions from the people?
Okay, I see that we don't have any questions so far.
Well, it's quite explicit, I should think, because it's a video. Everyone, it was broken down to similar times that people could, get. Like me, there was nothing difficult there that I didn't get, but I also believe the others did, It is said that when you shoot a video or show a video, it resonates more with people than when you're speaking without the slide or something. And putting your dream to test, I don't want to keep you longer than necessary. I said 1 hour, but we lost some of our time while waiting for others to join us this morning. So putting your dream to test, I told you there are 10 questions that he did put out for people and said the moment you're able to answer these 10 questions, well, then you own your dream. It's your dream, and that means you're putting your dream to test. And the first question is the ownership question, where you spoke about owning your dream. You should own your dream in such a way that no one is able to talk you out of your dream. So you must be willing to bet on yourself. Whatever you see that is important, you should be able to, put in money to improving yourself. You should be able to bet on yourself. Some people have dreams and they're not so good they're not where they want to be. But at the same time, they're not even ready to stretch themselves. They're not ready to sacrifice anything, because it's not every time you need to spend money to improve yourself. Sometimes you need to also give your time, stretch yourself, give your comfort to improving yourself. So like you rightly said, where you cannot put money or bet on yourself, then that's not a dream, that's an hobby. And so be willing to bet on yourself, and you would succeed if you are able to bet on yourself. You must bet on yourself. That means you must invest in yourself. And the one thing I tell everybody, you can have money in the bank, you can have properties. One of the things that stands as astounding for me is personal development. This is something that when you get into, no one can take it from you. You are there, you're equipped, you're a blessing to others, you're a word of knowledge, people can meet you. And that's why I said, and you must also be willing to lead yourself. You must be willing to lead your life and not just, accept what you see. It is said that if you don't plan and if you don't lead your life, you would have to endure whatever life gives to you. So you must be able to come up with a strategy and a plan to say, okay, this is the way I want to spend my 365 days, the year. This is the way I want to spend 2024. If you don't plan your 2024 by drawing up plans and strategies, you would be, up and about. The wind can blow you to any direction. And it says, why did you become all you were made to be? He said, when you leave this side of the eternity, the first thing God will ask is, I've made you to be this. Why did you not become all I have made you to be? And that's why even in this season, I would want you to take some time by looking at yourself, looking inward and asking yourself, are there things that you are meant to start doing that you're not yet doing? Ask God to open your eyes. Begin to look inward, to find out what are the skills and the talent that God has put in you, that you're yet to harness, you're yet to, maximize. So it is said, taking an active leadership of your life is key. You must first of all lead yourself before you're able to lead others. Because I tell people, I said, you want to lead others, but when you're not able to lead your life, you cannot lead others. You can't give what you don't have. And it says, make those decisions. Everything that we are today are some total of the decisions that were made. Some total of decisions that were made. Some total of decisions that were made. And I often will tell people, I said, if your life is not going the way you want it to be, then go back to those decisions and see how you can tweak it to, take you to where you want to be. So make those decisions and also manage the decision. Love what you do and do what you love. A lot of people work because, I've got bills to pay. I don't care whether I like it or not. But sincerely, this implies that, when you work because you want to pay bills, it's obvious that even when you don't like the job, you just do the job. But finding out what you love to do. When you find what you love to do and you give the right passion, you will go far and above and beyond. So do what you love to do. Don't compare your dreams with others. He gave the scenario of the 18, the 14, and the 60. That made me laugh because he said, at 18, as a teenager, you're like, what are people thinking about me? Am I well dressed? And at 40, you don't give a damn. You don't care what people think about you. And he said, when you get to 60, you just find out nobody's even thinking anything about you. You know, that made me laugh. People have got a lot they are busy doing. So, and they have a lot going on for them. So why would anyone just leave what concerns them, what is important to them, and start thinking about you or start talking about you? No. So he said, when you compare yourself with those who are inferior, you feel like you're a G, you know. And when you compare yourself with those who are, you know, superior, you feel very inferior. He said, but when you stop comparing yourself, you feel empowered. So we are not meant to compare. We all have a journey. We all have a race. So I want you to stay focused. Find out what your journey is, what you're called to do, and focus on it. It's just a matter of time. As you get doing it, you get good at what you do. You improve. And so, like John Maxwell said, he became a fellow crossover because he found out that his books were reaching out to those who are not in the faith. So he decided that, you know, he was going to, you know, move to the other side. But moving to the other side, you know, some of his friends, you know, oh, John is box leader. John has left the ministry. Why did you leave the ministry? He said he told them, he had a better answer for them. I went into the ministry. Does not mean that he left the ministry. He did a crossover. He went in such a way that he was able to appeal to every set of people, both the Christians and both the unbelievers. So that was his strategy. And sincerely, I can tell you, this paid him even so much better. Because in the ministry, you're only reaching out to believers. But when you cross over, like if you have a crossover, you're reaching out to believers and all the unbelievers, and even those that do not believe. So he had a larger crowd, and sincerely, he's making a great impact in our world today. So you have to own your dream, take ownership of your dream, have answers to anyone who comes to tell you, this is not what you ought to do. You must be ready, because if it is your dream, then you will own it. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so excited. This is our very first mastermind. We have 5 more to go. And I don't want to give the workbook now because I don't want people to be distracted while we're listening to the video, but I'm going to give it to you at the end. But take enough jottings, take enough writings, put things down so you can go back and think about it. It is not about just being in a training. What impacts more is when you hear those words over and over again, when you go back to your writings, to just look through what you learned today. It's been a mind-blowing session for me. I don't know about you. Do you want to say something? I call it today.
It has been, I agree with you. It has been mind-blowing. And I'm looking forward to the next session because I want to see what you have in mind to help people learn how to maybe map out their dream. You know, sometimes people don't really understand their dream until they start writing it down like a map.
Yeah,
and
true.
I know your teaching abilities, so I'm looking forward to how you will help people learn how to map out their dream, how to work toward it. This was a very good experience. I'm looking forward to session 2.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. And just thank you everyone for making that time to be in on this session. I'm excited. And I just want to release everyone to go have, go conquer their day, because I know the day is still very young. This is 11 a.m. EST, about 5 minutes to 11. So do have a blessed and restful weekend. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Are you thinking of how to publish your book on Amazon, or how to get your published book to become an Amazon bestseller book? Dip Insight Books is the perfect in-between solution in transforming your ideas into a book. We can help you with all the complicated parts of publishing, such as process TO transformation. What we do: full manuscript evaluation, receive quality assurance edit, full copy edit and final proofread to remove spelling and grammar mistakes, oversee your cover design, create your interior layout, publish and distribute your book, lock down your marketing strategy. Ghostwriting, where there is no manuscript. Our goal is to help you publish your book promptly. Contact us today at 404-740-9091. Email us at info@dipinsightworld.com. To start the submission process, check us out at www.books.dipinsightworld.com and submit your details. You can visit our Facebook page at Dip Insight World.
If you've made it this far into this video, thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe so you can support your girl. Thank you.